Economists often would like to know what the production is per unit of input, or the average product. In the video on production, the average product was defined conceptually as the amount of production per unit of input. The mathematical description is the total production divided by the total amount of inputs used. As you may remember, Boris and Colleen are allowed to vary the amount of labor, so the total inputs will be the amount of labor they employ. The table represents Colleen's and Boris' printer manufacturing business. The first column represents the amount of labor, and that is the input in the scenario. The second column represents the amount of production of the good. In our example, the production represents the amount of printers produced. The third column represents the average total product. If you want to follow along with this example, you'll need to download the worksheet from the website. Let's start with the first row. The total amount of input in the production is 0. Since the total outputs is the denominator, or the bottom number, of the formula for calculating the average production. Unfortunately, dividing by 0 is mathematically impossible. So either a dash or NA needs to be put in the box under the first row of the average total product column. Next, let's move down to the next row where there is a 1 in the total inputs column and 10 in the total product column. Let's locate the total product column and the total product in the formula. Next, locate the total product column and the total product associated with 1 unit of labor. In this case, that's 10. Next, substitute 10 into the formula. Next, locate the total input column and the total inputs variable in the formula. Next, locate the total input for the production of 10 printers, which is 1. Next, substitute 1 into the formula for total input. Next, divide the total product by the total input. In this case, we're dividing 10 by 1. 10 divided by 1 is 10. And the answer, 10, is placed into the second row of numbers in the third column. Next, locate the total product column and the total product in the formula. Next, locate the total product column and the total product associated with 2 units of labor, which in this case is 26. Next, substitute 26 into the formula. Next, locate the total input column and the total amount of inputs in the formula. Next, locate the total input for the production of 26 printers, which is 2. Next, substitute 2 into the formula. Next, divide the total product by the total amount of inputs, or 26 by 2. 26 divided by 2 is 13. Next, put 13 into the third row of numbers in the third column. Let's locate the total product column and total product in the formula. Next, locate the total product column and the total product associated with 3 units of production, which is 36. Next, substitute 36 into the formula for total production. Next, locate the total input column and the total inputs in the formula. Next, locate the total input for the production of 36 printers, which in this case is 3. Next, divide total production by the total inputs, in this case 36 divided by 3. 36 divided by 3 is 12. Next, put 12 into the fourth row of the third column. You might want to pause the video here and try to complete the table on your own. If you didn't download a copy of the document with the table in it from the website, you might want to take a minute also to create the table and see if you can figure out the remaining average total products. Here are the average total products for the entire table. You might want to pause the video a moment and check to see if your answers are correct. This is the graph of the average total product. Let's take a little minute before getting into the details to understand the structure of the graph. The horizontal axis represents the amount of labor or inputs generally. The amount of labor increases as we move from the left to the right. The vertical axis represents the average production, and the average production increases as we move from the bottom of the axis to the top. The key point to remember about this graph is that the average production per worker declines as more and more workers are employed. Things to remember is that the average total production is the amount of product produced per unit of input, most likely labor in most textbooks. The formula for calculating the average production is total production divided by the number of inputs. 3. The average amount of production declines as more of the input is used, everything else being equal.